most of, that's a fact, yo. And if you think I'm frontin', you can run it back, yo. Go run it back. You know that I run it. Everything you wanna do, I already done it. And I got your little boo telling me she love me. I got this one, that one. Damn, it's gonna be a long night. Yeah. You know. I said, damn, it's gonna be a long night.
Hello guys, what is up? It is me, Prince of Others, and I'm back here with another video. Sorry if you hear anything in the background. That's probably just like the rain. It rained for a bit and then it stopped, but now it's just like background from like, you know, the water hitting and, you know, the rooftops and all of that. It's really annoying. I don't want to waste your time, so I'm gonna get right into it. Yeah, let's go. So, last time we left off, Ace and his classmates had arrived at the forest where their training camp would begin. Before their camp, however, Hashira came back to show his determination and will to be nothing like his past predecessors, and establishing his rivalry with Ace. Then, arriving at the camp, they trained like nobody's business, and Ace told everyone a bit about hockey. And then, after all the training, they paired up and entered the forest for a test of courage. But the real test starts now. They're currently under attack. So let's see how well our heroes handle the situation this time. Ace and Kirishima get attacked by a wave of blue fire. Ace instantly uses Fire Fist to blow this attack to nothing. Kirishima says, "It's just like your flames." Ace replies, "Yeah, this is new. Seems like we have some new villains in the league." Ace's eyes glow red as we zoom into the forest to see Dabi. I wonder who stopped it. Garp's grandson or that bastard's son? Now we go back to Ace, who told Kirishima that he needed to go back to tell Aizawa that they are under attack because he has to go save someone. Ace is now in the air as he flies over the forest and sees all that's happening. Now it's up to Ace and Sabo. "I'm coming, Koda." As soon as he says this, he dashes down to the area where Koda is located, just in time to send Muscular into a wall with a kick. He then lands in front of Koda, ready for another clash because, from his experience, it's never good to relax just because an enemy is down. Muscular would then get up in pain because that kid actually the kick dislocated his jaw. He then quickly used his muscle fibers to heal himself up a little bit. "You should watch where you point that thing." Ace says, "I'm not chit-chatting. What do you want? You want Bakugo? Are you here for him again?" Muscular says, "No, we're here for you, kid. Really, you shouldn't have spread that you have two quirks. And to think that the second one is a quirk canceling ability, better than Eraserhead's. You can't be left alive." Ace says to Koda, "Go hide." Koda does so and Ace starts to walk towards Muscular as his body bursts with blue flames. Muscular is just getting excited. Getting right into it. "I like you, kid." He changes his artificial eye for the one he uses when he gets serious, and he charges at Ace, going 100% because everyone in the league now knows this kid is not to be underestimated. But in a split second, he feels a bunch of bloodlust aimed at him. Ace is oozing Conqueror's hockey and can't control himself because this is the guy that killed Koda's parents. Muscular is backing up in fear and can't even take a single step forward. Then all of a sudden, he spits out blood and looks down to see Ace landing a punch straight into his gut. His muscles will start to unravel and he gets slammed into the ground so hard that the mountain shakes. This also fills the top of the mountain with dust. The villains all notice the shaking and are assured that Muscular has failed. Then all of a sudden, everyone just feels this pressure so strong that it makes them fall to their knees. It's bizarre. Aizawa, who was fighting Dabi, also felt this, and so did Twice and Dabi, who were hiding. So the clone disappeared because Twice couldn't concentrate. Aizawa says, "What the hell is happening? His flames were not his quirk? And what's this pressure?" We go back to Ace and he is fuming with rage because they came here to get him and now people are going to get hurt because of that. Then he notices Koda heaving and breathing heavily. "Damn it, my hockey." He then calms down, and by this time Koda has already passed out. Ace then says, "I have to learn to calm down in situations like this." He picks up an unconscious Koda and then he takes off his shirt and uses it to tie Koda to him. Then he jumps off the mountain and starts to fly back to Aizawa. While he's doing this, Luffy and Sabo have gathered up everyone and are fighting off villains, and due to their armament, the poison didn't affect them, and luckily they found Momo who can make masks with her quirk. They use observation hockey to look for other students. Unfortunately, they can't engage yet, so they're just kind of in a tight spot right now. Now we go to Aizawa, who just got off his knees after experiencing all that pressure, and then he sees Ace land in front of him carrying Koda. Ace then, obviously scared a little bit because like all that's happening. Sensei, please take him. I have to go tell Mandalay that Koda is safe and sound. Then Aizawa says, alright, but also tell her that the students are authorized to engage. We go to Mandalay's perspective, and she's currently fighting Spinner and is being beat, and so are her teammates. Spinner then catches her off guard and starts to swing his sword down, and when he tries to do this, his eyes go blank for a second. Mandalay uses this chance to hit his swords out of his hand, and by this time, Spinner regained consciousness when she finally got a hit in and landed a solid punch to his stomach. Finally got one in. But why did he stop like that? That was my quirk, but that doesn't matter right now. You need to tell everyone that by Aizawa's orders, they're allowed to engage. Mandalay says, he can do that? Never mind. She then uses her quirk to tell everyone that they can fight now. We now go to a group of students that contain Bakugo, Todoroki, Momo, Asui, Ochako, Tokoyami, Shoji, Sabo, and of course Luffy. Hearing that they can now fight, they get serious and start attacking Moonfish. And while they do this, Tetsu with the help of Kendo has defeated the poison villain, so the vapor starts to disperse all over the forest. And now that they're together as Class 1A, nothing's attacking them and they're in a group so they're safer. This is when Bakugo notices something. Hey look, it's Ace. They all look up and are happy that he's safe. Ace then says, guys, how you been? He lands back down as he gets surrounded by everyone and they're happy that he's safe. Ace then says, I'm fine. Shoji, what happened to you? Shoji says, it was a villain. It took one of my limbs. He's right there on the floor. Ace looks at Moonfish lying on the ground with his teeth broken but still yearning for blood and massacre. Ace thinks to himself, because of me, all my friends, my classmates, they're getting hurt because of me. He then looks back at his classmates. Aside from his brothers, everyone is pretty shaken up about this whole incident, and then out of nowhere they hear a voice. It's Mr. Compress. I'm guessing you're Monkey D. Ace? Everyone turns around and sees the B-rank villain, Mr. Compress, for the first time. Mr. Compress then says, just come with us and this will all stop. You want to stop your friends from suffering, right? Ochako then says, they're here for you? Ace starts to laugh and laugh until he almost looks insane, and Mr. Compress retaliates. It seems that you've really lost it, young. He feels the same thing that he felt a few moments back. An overwhelming intent of bloodlust, strong enough to make him pass out. Then the other villains who were hiding came out of the bushes, being barely able to walk anymore. Mr. Compress says, how are you doing this? Ace says, I don't have an answer for you. Go home, or wherever the hell you call home. Just the sound of Ace's voice forced them to their knees, and they just wanted to run away, but at the same time they couldn't. Todoroki says, so that's the full extent of his second quirk? I feel like throwing up. Ace is not fuming with anger, and this is when he gets hit on the head by Luffy. Stop using hockey that way, you're affecting the villain, but you're also hurting us. Sabo then says, remember what Grandpa taught us? Be calm but aggressive. Try to stay logical. This isn't like you. Hearing these words, this snaps, hearing this, Ace snaps out of his rage, and he looks at his friends once more, and looks at the state of the forest itself. Guys, you're gonna hate me for this. Everyone is confused at this comment. Ace then looks back at the villains. Fine, I'll go with you, but you need to stop your attack. I'm not asking, I'm demanding. The villains nod as Ace then walks back to hug his friends for a final goodbye. After doing this, he walked with the villain deep into the forest, until Kurogiri uses his portal to take all of them away. Silence falls after this, and all the villains in the forest start to disappear, as the heroes like Black King, Aizawa, and the Wawa Pussycats are relieved, but also feel a sense of unease and uncertainty. Now we go back to the group of Class 1A, who can barely hold their tears and are bawling their eyes out. Of course Bakugo isn't, but you can tell he's mad. He couldn't do anything. Then all of a sudden, Hashira finally finds them. Guys, what happened? I'm sorry I'm late, but this forest is huge. I was trying to help other classes. Why are you all crying? Kirishima then crying says, it's Ace. He's gone. The villains took him. Hashira then mad says, why didn't you stop him? Why didn't you two stop this? He looks at Luffy and Sabo, who just hang their heads down. Seeing this, Hashira gets mad and goes up to Sabo and grabs him by the collar. Maybe he doesn't think of me as a brother, but he stole my flesh and blood. Why don't you even look mad? Sabo grabs his arm. Of course I'm mad. Maybe you're related, but we spent our lives as sworn brothers. Luffy then cuts in. Yeah, and besides, we've already found a way to get him back. Momo over there put a tracker on Ace. Clever. Momo then surprises. How did you know I did that? Sabo and Luffy then say at the same time, we always look out for Ace, even when he doesn't realize it. He's our brother after all. Tokoyami then says, you really put a tracker on him? Momo says yes. Now we can go rescue him. I wonder how he's doing over there. Everyone looks off into the distance as we go to Shigaraki's perspective. This kid is scary as hell. Currently, none of the villains have the balls to attack or talk like, him into becoming a villain. Then all of a sudden, Dabi approaches him. What I want to know is how your quirk works. Are you related to Endeavor by any chance? Ace then says no. I'm sure you know this by now, but if you don't, this isn't a quirk. All the villains are shocked. Magne then says, you really want us to believe that? Ace says, I don't care what you believe. Soon this will all be over. Twice says, oh please, don't ever find you here. Ace then says, if they don't, then I'll just do it myself. The villains shiver in fear as we go to Garp in his office, receiving some news from All Might, who is terribly sorry. I'm sorry this happened to your grandson. I'm ashamed of myself. I wish you could take my place as #1 hero. You're clearly more fit. All Might then goes on and blabs and blabs and blabs until Garp says, oh stop. In a way, I'm technically retired. This isn't your fault. It's that dumbass Ace's fault. Garp then slightly kind of gets mad, obviously, because this is his grandson, and says, jeez, well, let's go. All Might then says, go do what exactly? Garp, walking out of his office, looked back confused. Go rescue my grandson, obviously. Besides, I know Sabo and Luffy are waiting for us. Those two have a score to settle. And just like you, I have a bone to pick with that man. For the first time ever, All Might feels an overwhelming pressure of just he just feels pure rage and anger, and it's just being pushed onto him. All Might says, what is this? I feel out of breath just standing next to this guy. Garp could probably easily take my spot if he wanted, but why isn't he? The next day comes and Yue is being interviewed about why and how they handled the situation, why they handled the situation the way they did. And Aizawa speaks up. The student who was now captured and known as Monkey D. Ace informed me of the villains attacking, so in order to give the students a chance, I allowed them to fight. The reporter then says, did this help the students in any way? Aizawa says, yes. I'm guessing you know the psychic trio from the Marine Agency, correct? Everyone mumbles that they do, and Aizawa says, well, due to their experience, the amount of students hurt was reduced to about only 3. And the reporter then says, then can you explain why and how one was kidnapped? The reporter then says, well, the reporter saying this is trying to blame the school for this, and Vlaking sitting next to Aizawa notices this, and everyone in the hero group, and people in society in general, know how much Aizawa hates the media, and the reporter is trying to use that against him. But Aizawa calms down and breathes in. The reason why that happened is because Ace felt responsible for everyone's suffering, because they were aiming for him from the beginning. Everyone is shocked to hear this. So you're saying you didn't notice any changes in his facial expression, the way he was acting, any hints? Aizawa says, I know that is my fault as a teacher. However, I know that kid. You've all seen him defend this city for years. You know just as well as I that no villain would be able to affect him, not easily anyway. And now that he's trusted us enough to go with the villains, it's time for us to go rescue him. We take full responsibility for what happened, but we're still only human. We still make mistakes. The reporter sits back down, and Nezu and Vlaking also answer a few questions, and soon the whole ordeal is over and the heroes are going to meet up to go save Ace. This is of course including Garp, and he brought Sabo and Luffy. Luckily nobody objected to this because they also know how strong the trio is, and most of them have met Ace. Sorry about that. So they also are filled with a lot of rage right now. Now we go to a new perspective. All for ones. That kid is a force to be reckoned with. It's been a day and he's still releasing bloodlust, even in his sleep. Ace is still tied to a chair by quirk canceling cuffs, and they added on more cuffs because Shigaraki doesn't trust what he said about not having a quirk, but he doesn't want to make mistakes when his master is watching him, his master is watching him. Oh, I have to do good. Now we go back to our heroes, and currently they're meeting up with the police, and are making a plan to attack the hideout. However, they have to wait until night to surprise the villains more. And while they're doing this, Ace is getting bored of being held by the cuffs. And he says, oh, screw this. He breaks out of the cuffs easily as the villains get on guard. Spinner then says, you better stay down, kid. Ace then says, or what? You'll beat me up? Relax, I just don't want to wear the cuffs. They're making me uncomfortable. The villains once again feel an immense amount of bloodlust. Twice then says, fine, just stop this. It hurts. Ace then stands up. This hurts? This is coming from you? The ones who tried to kill my friends? Don't make me laugh. Ace then sits back down and says, while I might not know you and like you, I don't know your circumstances, but it's not up for me to decide your fate. He then cancels out his conqueror's haki. Spinner then says, but you decided to be a hero just to beat down on us. You're a hypocrite. Ace then says, you don't know my circumstances either. I didn't become a hero just to beat down people who are giving the name and title of villain. I became a hero to beat up assholes and people who use their power as heroes to be negligent and not care about their duties, and simply for the thrill of money. Of course, even if I tell you that, you're still gonna doubt me, aren't you? Silence then falls as the whole day just goes by with the villains staying away from Ace. Now as night falls, Kurogiri is at the bar serving Shigaraki. Then they all hear a knock, and Ace's eyes shine red. The door then gets knocked down and completely obliterated by Garp, and Garp walks in. So, I hear you've been taking care of my grandson. His eyes shine red. I'm gonna leave it off there. Like usual, I hope you enjoyed that video, and feel free to subscribe to the channel so we can get to 2K. It's happening really fast. I'm gaining like 20 subs a day now. I'm pretty sure we're gonna make it there in like about a week. I sound a little arrogant, but that's because I'm hype. I can't believe that we've come so far, and I'm really happy that you guys have loved the videos so much, so I'm trying even harder to get through my assignments so I can get them to you super fast. And yeah, also before anything else, I want to do this thing where I show you why I made the characters do certain things, or why I didn't, apply certain things or like say certain things. That way you won't be confused about why it happened the way it did. So I'm just gonna tell you a few things. First of all, Todoroki calling Ace's quirk, his power a quirk, it's only because that's all they can call it. They can't really describe it in any way. They can call it a superpower, but that's basically a quirk in their world, so they just keep calling it a quirk. It's not because I forgot that I revealed to everyone at the sports festival that, oh, he actually doesn't really have a power. And yeah, of course everyone tried to stop Ace when he was like trying to leave. I'm guessing that was implied, but for those of you who didn't, know that's what I meant. Yeah, everybody tried to stop him, but he told them it would be fine while hugging them and saying goodbye. I just didn't want to, prolong that scene. Just writing that feels annoying a little bit. And another thing, Aizawa, when he was talking about the interview, obviously, Ace is also part of the trio. Whenever I made it sound like, oh, he was just like another kid, obviously he was implying that he was part of the trio. Ace also helped, and he was saying that Ace did a great job as well. Yeah, that's about it. Sorry about the background noise. If you hear that, it's probably the wind freaking blowing through my trees. It's like, there's so much wind outside. I don't know what it is, but like there's wind blowing through the trees and it's so loud. I don't know if you noticed it, but if you did, I'm sorry about that. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with anybody else who might like what is. Also, gonna go ahead right now and give a shout out to my guy who's gonna be doing my intro for me. His link will be in the description. Check it out. I think it's very essential that you give credit where credit is due. When people make stuff like this for you for free, you should really give them a shout out. So I'm going to head down below in the description to see and check out his channel, And yeah, that's about it. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.